Everyday superpower. We talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. And today's message is a good one. I want you as a man, right, to reframe your perspective on anger and angry men and people who, hey, each to their own, people who might incite fear within you through the spirit of anger, people who come across as quite aggressive, right, and make you feel a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, hey, don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to get hurt, right? It's a biological impulse. It's a freeze, flight, and so on and so forth. Freeze, flight, fight. Which, on a side note, I've come across a fourth term: freeze, fight, flight, and forfeit at the end of the process. That's interesting, isn't it? We'll do a video on that. But I want you to reframe your perspective on anger and men expressing anger and you being angry and expressing anger, okay? We're going to take it from what the world portrays as a masculine expression, a old school expression, a powerful expression, a dominant expression, and all of these great, fantastic things you might want to be as a man. And we're going to look at it as an emotion. Anger is an emotion, and anger is the most volatile of emotions. So instead of perceiving it as masculine, whenever you see someone get angry, whenever you get angry and act out in an angry manner, when you see anyone inflicted with the burden of this emotion, I want you to perceive it as feminine. It's feminine. That's an emotional man. Instead of thinking, oh, I don't want him to get angry at me, think, I don't want him to get emotional at me, right? When a man is angry, he is in his emotions and he is not thinking straight. And yes, be careful to a degree because, as I said, it's the most volatile of. We should never ever act in anger when we are stoic and aware of our emotion and how we're feeling. We should never act on that anger. We should allow it to be, but we should be self-aware and know that we are angry and maybe express to the people around us. I'm in a little bit of a, I don't know where I'm coming from. I'm in a little bit of a uncomfortable space, to say the least. All right, just give me 10 minutes. Let me just cool off. Do you know that thing the other day? It really annoyed me a little bit. Do you know, seeing him, it annoyed me a little bit. So I'm just gonna have one moment. Yeah, I mean, depending on the situation and circumstance and so forth. Instead of trying to disguise it and trying to repress it, because it will just manifest in reaction to something that you feel at that moment needs that degree of response, and it would be illogical, irrational. It's not an emotion that needs expressing through any means, but you need to find a way to release it in the safest manner possible. When a woman is shit testing you and testing your boundaries and talking about her ex-boyfriend or talking about how somebody, was speaking to her in the gym, or talking about, something she maybe unconsciously knows annoys you, but might not consciously be trying to do so. But it's just, it's just what these women will do. If you engage in reaction to any of that with an emotional, angry response, she's going to pick up on that and she's going to think, I've just got him in his feminine. I've just manipulated him to a degree where I've put him in this uncomfortable space by referring to this person. And the same goes with you talking about other people. So one of the last videos we did was in regards to not idolizing or pedestalizing or, putting any person higher than you in this game of life. Don't economically provide an abundant glow to an individual around someone you're trying to attract, because they will perceive them as more than you, and with them perceiving them as more than you, they will see you as lower value as to what you initially were perceived as in the eyes of them. So where do we go? When speaking on others, let's say someone really annoys you, right? they might not have any interest in this person, this other man who annoys you. But when you start to tell her how much he winds you up, thinking that you're playing a masculine position, that, oh, I'll knock him out, or I'll do this and I'll do that to him, oh, he annoys me so much. Instead of what you think you're projecting, you're actually doing the counter opposite. Because that woman's going to look at you and think, wow, this other man has got so much control over my boyfriend, my partner, that he's getting him in his emotions. In this duality of man, we have the masculine man, the independent, distant man who isn't within the physical picture right now. And we have the present, emotional, gossiping man who is representing the feminine. Who is she going to be more attracted to? Who is the feminine within her, the submissive in her, going to be more attractive to? Does this make sense? Acting and expressing in anger will very rarely create a positive outcome. When you look at fighters and when you look at boxers and people like that, what do they do in the press conferences? What do they do in the run-up to the fight? They do their best to wind up and manipulate their opponent into a position of anger, because it loosens the rational state of mind. We go from rational and logical to emotional and busy and cluttered and focused on the wrong things. Can you utilize that energy of anger and redirect it into something incredible? Yes, most definitely, as it is an anger and as it is an energy, and it is the most powerful of fuels to project yourself and to propel yourself into a particular space. Let's say I hate that person so much that I'm going to use this energy to work so hard on my product that I'm going to smash this competition. Competition is healthy, right? But you have to be self-aware and know what I am experiencing that right now. What am I allowing to flow over me is the emotion of anger, and it is an emotion, and people don't want to see me angry, and I shouldn't act in public on this because I am going to act out of place and I'm going to be outside of my masculine center, and people, although not consciously, subconsciously will perceive it as such. Men might see it as a, an expression of power, but you're incredibly incorrect. But women will see it for what it is. She'll think, oh, I've seen this somewhere before. Where have I seen this? She's seen it with her girlfriends as they've grown up. Yeah. Not only that, but take into consideration this confusion of this particular emotional expression. Most men think it's okay to express this. So with most men thinking it's okay to express this because their fathers did and their grandfathers did and so on and so forth, they happily express it. Now, when you come forth and you never go into that space and you never submerge beneath the waters of this horrible, inconsistent, vibrational force, you appear more sturdy, more reliable, more safe than the others, which is incredibly attractive and seductive. That's some game. I'm signing out.